Hey, everyone. Yeah, we're starting the show early. We can do that. Big Zebra.
Oh,
And
sure.
what should I call you? Mr. Cold Iron, the cat formerly known as Cold Iron? How do you want to be known? What's your official title here?
Eh, whatever.
Whatever it is. So you were saying there were originally 12 amendments proposed.
Yeah, for the first batch, there were 12 amendments proposed, 11 of which have been ratified so far. 10 of them were in the like original days, 2 of which were left hanging for quite some time.
Hmm.
And the most recent amendment to be ratified was actually one of those original 12 to be proposed.
I did not know that.
Amendments, back in the day, they would usually just say, this is a proposed amendment. And then as soon as enough states have ratified it, it becomes part of the Constitution with no sunset date. So that 12th Amendment technically could still become part of the Constitution if enough states ratify it.
So Grant and Zeb, 420 Atheist wants to know where's the link. And if I start fishing around for the link here, where did I put it? Is it
I can find it.
Can you find it?
I'll just put the link into chat.
Thanks.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that 12th Amendment would really screw things up if they were to adopt it at this point, because other amendments have already superseded what that one would have done, and it would just make it a confusing mess if they were to actually ratify it.
Interesting. Yeah, Sean, dude, you can pop in. You're a known, definitely. Feel free.
Oh, yeah, the 11th Amendment of the original 12 to be passed was one that prohibited members of Congress from giving themselves pay raises during the same term that they vote for it.
Right.
That was one of the things that they were worried about back in the day, of members of Congress would just vote to give themselves unlimited pay raises.
So are you saying that that there was a concern that people would abuse the system and they would just give themselves all types of cash? What's up, 420?
Oh.
So the link in your previous stream, is that what you clicked on, Zebra? Because
Yeah.
I clicked on that and I was sitting out the back of somewhere that was obviously
Well, maybe you clicked on it wrong.
Maybe you were in limbo for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, this is my favorite view of you so far. 420.
I was gonna say, so I want the chat and yourselves to vote between the horns or
the bosom of Jesus.
Because the bosom of Jesus' loving embrace.
That's great.
Because I'm gonna stick with one of them permanently. So
the horns speak to me. They speak to me in a deep way. And this fire, dude. How can you argue with fire, right?
Well, this is it, and it's simple. Oh, we'll get rid of the sparkles. We don't want the sparkles. There we go. And let's face it, I'm never going to be as suave and professional as you, Andy. So, why not embrace what I am? Let's face Joker. I can hear it myself in the background, and I want to vomit. Why not embrace?
John, you might have your. It might be your.
I can hear it. Sean, you got the stream going. There you go.
Yeah. I just muted your mic.
Oh no, still going.
I'm going to mute it momentarily, Sean, until you get it all handled. You might need headphones. There might be something. I don't know. I'm not very technically adept. Sammy's been the one, or someone else has been one.
It could be a dirty sex thing, of which we're not familiar.
No, I'm not very technically adept. Okay, so give me the thumbs up, Sean, when you're ready, and we'll put you back in. But yes, Sam, totally freaking spot on with those horns. Give me the thumbs up, Sean, when we're ready, and we'll put you. Yeah, it's still. He's like, I don't know what.
He just caught up. So your audio is coming back through your mic, Sean, so we can hear the stream playing in the background. So you may either need earphones, which will stop us getting your sound, or maybe you might get lucky if you turn your volume down. But
Yeah, it sounds like he has
If
the
you-
YouTube video playing in the background.
Mhm.
So just
Oh,
be-
I saw what happened. Okay.
Hey, look at this! It
there
all
we
worked.
go.
I forgot.
Welcome.
I forgot to turn off the YouTube stream.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes. Yes.
This is my first time using StreamYard. I've never used it before. So,
I really like StreamYard because once again I'm an idiot and I just get to hit buttons with and sometimes I hit the wrong buttons, obviously, as you've all seen a number of times. But yeah, I've seen other people wrestle with OBS, and I'm like, I don't think I need to do that for what I do. I just sit here and tell jokes and talk to people and cover the news. I don't think I need anything more complicated than that.
yeah, can't blame you. So, greetings, everyone. It's my first time here. How's it going?
Greetings, sir.
Welcome.
Very good, and welcome.
The irony that we're talking about the Constitution. Here's the shirt that I wore this morning.
The First Commandment contradicts the First Amendment. No, I like that.
Yes.
And you're right.
nice.
You're spot on with that.
Mhm.
And you are so knowledgeable, Andy. I want to correct what I said earlier. I was just talking off the cuff. I had just previously had a conversation, and they weren't aware of the exact figures, and I repeated them stupidly. It was 10 years later, so by 1789, there were 12 amendments,
Mhm.
which, that's a pretty short time to have already so many changes.
Okay.
Yet it doesn't evolve.
As far as amendments go, there might be a lot of fun to be had in proposing new amendments to the U.S. Constitution,
Oh, yeah.
such as not bombing people or no MLMs.
Oh, yeah. No MLMs.
That's a good one.
Well, I think for anyone who's seen a device or a product engineered and put into the marketplace, right? It's invariably there are typically bugs involved in it and needs to be altered and changed and modified. So it makes perfect sense that you'd have the Constitution, you'd see how it works in real life, and you would have to change it in some way or put the amendments on for it not to evolve. You would go extinct, politically speaking. Things would go sideways pretty fast.
Well, and by the way, I'm here to sell some Amway if anyone's interested. No.
Mm.
So if we get rid of MLMs, then we have to get rid of religion because that's pretty much all religion is. It's just
Oh, hey,
MLM.
this idea is
That's a tragic side effect.
Mhm.
What was
Or
that,
is
Big
it a
Z?
feature of the system? Or is it a feature of the system? The MLM/religion kind of angle there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I've done both.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how long have you been clean and sober, sir, from religion and MLMs?
MLM's probably about 20 years. Religion about 8 to 10 years.
We should really give each other chips, that like they do in AA. You get like a 10-year out of religion chip.
I prefer shots of
I
whiskey.
like it.
And to tell you the truth, and I don't want to make this too personal, and I don't want to make this totally about me, but I should get a chip for being divorced, to tell you the truth. It should be a congratulatory. You got your 8-year coin, your 8-year chip, and I'm like, yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
A divorce chip. I remember an episode years ago. If anyone remembers that TV show, Married with Children.
Oh yeah.
Al Bundy one time making their mark because he was trying to get his driver's license because it had expired and everything. And he's having all kinds of trouble and all that. And he goes, well, driver's license is expired. Why don't marriage licenses expire?
There is a cogent argument to be made that the marriage contract should be made for only a set period of time with the option for renewal. Right, so you get like 5 years and you renew, or you can make it whatever length of time you want to. But I think people would be better to each other when they know that the person has a chance of saying no in a couple of years. You know, I mean, like a legal out.
I have a couple of friends of mine, wonderful people, Roger and Mary Lou. They have been together since high school, and they have been happily unmarried, happily not married for over 50 years.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is
I don't know, this whole concept of marriage to me is kind of strange. I live in California, and I remember having to go through that whole Prop 8. I'll try not to swear. I don't want to demonetize you.
Thanks.
But the whole Prop 8 debacle, especially with the Mormon Church being heavily involved in funding it, out of Utah and everything. And I'm a middle-aged gay man living in a relatively very very liberal state. I think the only state more liberal than here is Massachusetts.
Woohoo!
Where much of my family is from. Actually, a lot of my family is from Boston.
Good.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the whole marriage thing. I mean, I totally support, obviously, same-sex marriage and everything. And I support marriage of any type. I support, polyamory. If people are consenting adults, who cares if they're consenting? But me personally, I have no desire to sit there with a piece of paper, to make some contract with the state. To me, it doesn't make any sense unless, because really all it is, it's you're making a contract with the state for tax purposes, certain financial perks and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's other ways to do that as well. So I don't know, but that's just me.
Yeah. I think we need to. Oh, I'm starting to echo.
I think we're getting an echo again. Whoever doesn't hear the echo is the one who's the person with the echoey problem. But
Not for me.
You can't.
I turned off my YouTube.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone now.
That's
That was
weird. I think we need to get rid of the whole concept of marriage. Have civil unions. Have civil contracts. People have contracts all the time of all sorts. Why is a relationship any different? But the whole idea of marriage, we then have to fight for the right for people to be married, which is archaic.
Yeah,
They should be able to enter into a contract like they can enter into any other contract.
Yeah.
Why is marriage this special magical contract?
Because Jesus put pixie dust all over it. He sprinkled pixie dust.
God, I was going to say God dust, but yeah,
God dust,
Jesus
right,
dust.
right.
I like one night stands like God had with Mary.
Right.
Exactly. Why can't I have 300 concubines and 700 concubines and 300 wives? Why can't I do that?
Sounds like old school Solomon stuff right there.
Right.
That's Mormonism. Is
yeah.
it the Mormons that have
The Mormons did poly poly relationships, so poly marriages, up until the time the U.S. government said you can't do that anymore. Yeah, polygamy.
Right.
They did polygamy up until the time the U.S. government said you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Rage,
Why not?
I haven't seen you for a while. I want to say hello.
Hey, yeah, what's up, man? I've been just working nonstop for basically nothing. I haven't gotten ahead at all, but I've been working. So yeah, I've been my mornings have been taken up the last few weeks. How are y'all doing?
Doing okay, man.
Good.
All right.
I'm doing well. It's my first time on the Laughing in Disbelief show. So, well, I mean, my first time broadcasting. I've been watching in the chat for a while. And
I was watching your show earlier, Andy, and the whole Boebert thing with the evolving Constitution. Like she doesn't have time to read the Constitution because she's got to keep going to all the bus stops to pull up her hubby's pants.
that's good.
That's really good. I like that.
She's too busy poisoning her patrons with pork slices.
Also, the Constitution takes a long time to read when you have to sound out each syllable.
Yeah,
Right.
True.
Yeah, exactly. And when it uses words that are more than two syllables.
Oh, those are the worst.
After every amendment, you have to fire your gun in the air. That's Bobert for you.
And
We're
we
not
talked
busy
about
cranking kids out in the front seat of her pickup truck too. Not forget that.
After every amendment in that unchanging doctrine that is the Constitution.
I felt like if she
When I
could
saw
have
that.
used the word microevolution, if she was like just a little bit smarter, she would have been like, it's more like it doesn't. If she was going to walk back that statement, she'd probably start trying to say that the Constitution micro evolves, but she's not in that category of apologetics.
No,
I mean, it's not surprising that she thinks that documents shouldn't be changed over a period of time. Civilizations progress. I mean, any of these people that read the Bible think that we should, base our morality off of the morality of the people 2,000 years ago. They think things are unchanging. It doesn't surprise me at all.
And with Bobert, if she really thinks that the Constitution is unchanging, then she needs to get back in the kitchen and throw away her voter card.
Oh yeah,
It's real
Right
simple,
about that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Same with Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter was always the one, years and years and years ago. I was hearing her, railing on about how women need to be more attentive to their husbands and staying at home. I was like, but you're a woman and you're out here doing this. The cognitive dissonance is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. You see, I think with Ann Coulter, she's smart enough to know that what she's saying is stupid, but she doesn't care. She just does it for the clicks and the likes and for the endorsements, right, and the money, basically. Well, Bobert is just an idiot. Yeah.
She's nothing more than a shock jock. She's not a stupid person. She's very intelligent. And she knows exactly what she's catering to. She knows the level of stupid that she needs to cater to. Yeah. To sell her books.
I remember seeing there was a Colorado representative, I believe, in their state legislature who was directly arguing against women's right to vote. and she was a state representative.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't surprise me. Like we definitely have an element of people trying to bring the country back. They want it to be a man's country again, a white man's country. The National Prayer Breakfast, the organization behind that, deeply fundamental Christian group that lobbies our government and pretty much lobbies for these archaic laws to go back in time. Our president, Joe Biden, just participated in the National Prayer Breakfast. So way to go, Democrats, for continuing to, just sell your base away.
Yeah. Well, he is Catholic. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though. I mean, these are fundamental Christians that hate Catholics, and he still has to go placate them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the group called The Family.
Yeah. See, not many people know about that. There's a great documentary on Netflix about it. I believe it's Netflix. It was a great documentary. They go really in depth.
Yeah. Oh, they're disgusting. People like who's this one idiot right now? Greg Locke.
Oh yeah.
I just covered him. He had a book burning.
Yesterday. Yeah. The burning service.
There's basically what I keep referring to these Christian nationalists. I don't want to use the word because again I don't want to. I'll do it. I'll do it in two parts. Para. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sight. That's what I've been referring to these Christian nationalists as. Actually, I can't talk this morning. The Christian nationalists. That's what I refer to them as. So
that's actually pretty good. Parasites, I like it.
Sam, I just want to say and to congratulate you on you being able to manage the hoodie while still keeping the horns flaming. I just saw you do that.
Noticed that? I was like,
He's
is this possible?
Job
Nice.
well done. Job well done.
I used to tell people, I'm an absolute angel. Can't you see the horns holding up the halo?
Right.
So, Andy, did you see Biden's disgusting display of affection for Mitch McConnell?
I did not see that, sir. Please educate me.
Was it on Pornhub?
Let's see. Share my screen. We can watch it. It's only like a minute long. So let me share it.
Show it up. Post it up. You know what's as Rage is doing this. It's Joe Biden is obviously a person from another era and still believes you can negotiate with Republicans. Here it is.
All right, let's
Negotiating
play.
with terrorists.
Gary Job, you're the voice of an angel, kid. Tell you what, you really do. And that guy sitting next to you, he's a lucky guy. A lucky guy. And besides, he has all his hair. And Vice President Harris, Majority Leader Schumer, Mitch McConnell. Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends. And that is not an epiphany we're having here at the moment. You've always done exactly what you've said. You're a man of your word, and you're a man of honor. Thank you for.
No, yes.
And
Wow.
Like
Wow.
Like, can you even believe that? Like, McConnell has literally said, my goal is to stop anything that this administration tries to do, but yet you're friends. And, and I'll grant McConnell hadn't had to do much because he's had Manchin and Sinema doing all of his dirty work, but still, like, he just goes out of his way he calls Joe Biden a socialist. He says all these, and this is what's wrong with the damn Democratic Party. It's what's wrong with it.
Well, every single time, every single time I see Joe Biden talk, it's like, please don't. Whatever you're doing right now, please.
I know. I do think that might have been the national. Yeah, that was the National Prayer Breakfast, his appearance there. So it's like, it's disgusting, man. It's I don't think you need to go in there and excoriate or just be rude as hell to these Republicans, but at the same time, don't bend over for them. I hate it.
Yeah, dude, that is Sam, I think you got even more fans than you have had before with the horns.
I was a fan of the baby, the Jesus holding you, but I have to say the horns are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that Mitch McConnell line, I don't even know. That's something that you could have heard from maybe like in the 1950s or the 1960s, when there was still this kind of collegial nature of the Senate. But it's what is terrifying is if he does decide to run again. And what's even more terrifying is if Harris runs again. If Harris runs as president for president, it's just a hash.
And what's even more terrifying than that is if Hillary runs for president.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. I don't think.
Right.
She's hinting at
Wash
it.
your mouth out.
Like her people are actually telling her it's a good idea. Like, no, don't do it.
Well, from what I've seen of Hillary Clinton, she hasn't learned a goddamn lesson. From her previous defeats, she still surrounds herself with the same people. They have not done well for her in the two times that she ran for president, and she runs these kind of really horrible campaigns. She got outmaneuvered twice, once by Obama in the primaries, and of course by Trump the second time. When she became the nominee, she just hasn't learned a thing after two defeats.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, who do you think should run against Trump in 2024? Because it shouldn't be Harris, it shouldn't be Biden, it definitely shouldn't be Hillary. I don't even know who we have that we could really throw against them.
Well, Massachusetts, I think it is, has Vermin Supreme.
Vermont, I believe that's New Hampshire. I think Vermont
Is that New Hampshire?
I think that's
Everyone gets a free pony.
Yes. We had a wonderful party in Canada called the Rhinoceros Party, and they promised to reduce energy costs by lowering the boiling point of water.
Nice. I like that.
And they did constant stuff like that. They wanted to declare war on Belgium.
So they actually had a platform, unlike the Republican Party.
Yes, they did. And every so often you hear that they're still around, but they're not what they once were.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember a guy named Kinky Friedman?
Yes.
He was a comedian, and he was from Texas, and he was basically a Jewish cowboy.
Had so many technical issues.
He ran for, I think, governor, it was, years ago. And his campaign was hilarious. He had all kinds of things. that he was running on because he would be Texas' only Jewish cowboy. And he was like, if you elect me, I'll reduce the speed limit to 49.95 or something like that.
Let me just say, Tobin.
We hear you.
But
no, Tobin.
Yeah, there's yeah. Or sorry, bro. I'm gonna send you. I don't know. Karma, positive thoughts. I don't know. But yeah, dude, you're all frozen.
Uh-oh.
The internets don't like you.
It's Texas and it's freezing. You have two things going against you.
It's Texas is freezing and Cruz is in the South.
He made a joke. Did you see that?
He's in Cancun.
Did you see that Cruz made a joke about how cheap the flights are to go to Cancun? It's like, I mean, and I'm not making it up. He made a joke about how cheap the flights are. And it's like, it's no wonder people hate you in the Senate. It's no wonder people dislike you. Your peers dislike you. You're just a dick.
Yeah, I was listening to Hannity the other day, and he was like,
I'm sorry.
Ted Cruz was the only other candidate that was a true conservative besides Donald Trump, and I had to swallow the vomit. I just had to.
Yeah.
Cancun Cruz, yeah.
Cancun Cruz, that's right.
I like calling them cuckold
Irish demon are trapped in Texas right now. They were supposed to be in Washington today, but they got snowed in.
See, I like calling Ted Cruz cuckold because he pretty much cucked himself to Donald Trump over his wife.
Comedian Adam Carolla was actually on Hannity. I saw part of the video, part of the interview that he was on, and within 5 seconds, I'm like, Adam Carolla, when did you become a hack? So
I know.
So that basically he said within 5 seconds, the clip that I saw at least, is that who would listen to AOC if she was fat and 60s? And it's like, dude, you suck so much. You suck, and you're horrible. And it's like, out of all the insults that you've decided to do, you decided to do these blunt, hacky.
Yeah, I used to like him. Back when he did the Man Show, I loved the Man Show.
It was funny. It was a light touch. It was maybe not okay for today's world. I don't know, but I rapidly watched that show.
Yeah, so did I.
And now he's just a hack. It's just like, really?
We got that here in Australia.
What's that?
The Man. We got that here in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
The Man Show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I had it was really fun. It was a fun show. Jimmy Kimmel, right? Jimmy Kimmel, who always looks dumb, was on it. And
they had that doctor dude, the love doctor, whatever his name was.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Remember him.
Yeah.
And then the two of them went off and did their own show. It was like basically Dr. Drew was the star and Adam Carolla was kind of the sidekick in that one. But it was funny as well. He gave love advice. He was like the male version of Dr. Ruth, basically.
And it's like disappointing when people that you like Kurt Schilling. I grew up. I watched the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees, and I saw Schilling with the Boston Red Sox and the bloody sock. It's like this dude was one of my heroes, and then he starts talking about his politics, and I'm like, you are a douchebag.
Yeah, and he ran. I don't know if you know this about Schilling. And of course, the only reason why I know about Schilling is because he played for the Red Sox and the Bloody Sock. He ran a company into the ground. I think it was down in Rhode Island. He was running a video game company that took a ton of money from the state, and went under, unsurprisingly. It was in the news quite a bit for a while. Up here,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Which I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but I do enjoy his crying about not being in the Hall of Fame. So I kind of like both aspects of it.
Sure, I could see that. Adam Carolla. It was, and I could only get through the first 5 or 6 seconds. It's like this is what conservative comedy is. It's just, being hacky and just being mean to minority groups. There's no other
and the moment you call it out, then you're being this woke skulled lefty cancel culture trying to censor people. You're like, no, it's not even good comedy. It's dumb, and it's just his excuse to be a bigot.
Yeah, and that's why Fox News has never been successful. When several years ago when they tried to do their their version of the Tonight Show, or not the Tonight Show, the Daily Show. They tried to do like a comedy thing like Jon Stewart was doing, and it failed miserably because and that's the one thing that I noticed. Well, with conservatives, and this comes from religion. This is actually a part of the bite model of cult indoctrination, is a forced binary mindset. And comedy doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. I'm not a professional comedian by any means, but I understand the basics of how comedy works and why it's funny, because it requires multi-levels of nuance, and to be able to understand that nuance, which unfortunately conservatives, and especially religious conservatives, can't do.
Yeah, there's no nuance with them.
It's either black or white, and you just can't be funny that way.
That was like the biggest conversation I had with Matt Powell was absolutes, and like they literally see everything in this black and white, no gray, no in betweens, no nuance to any discussion, and it's like this mindset that they have, and I think that it's drilled into them when they're like 5.
Oh yeah.
Matt Powell. I don't know how you put up with that asshole. Oh, excuse me. Don't want
to I've only had to do it a couple times. I don't think I could do it again.
I don't know if you saw his recent thing on dealing with internet atheists. They're all living in a fantasy world because did you see that thing?
I covered it. Yeah. It's just like his first argument was atheist in video games, and now it's atheist in cartoons. It's like you haven't changed, dude, in 2 years.
So what's the relationship between atheism, being a liberal, and cartoons?
It's basically every atheist on YouTube has like a cartoon in the background, an anime or Star Fox or something, something quote unquote dorky, a Ghostbusters car, but it's always they're living in their fantasy land. They haven't grown up out of Toon World, I'm like, dude, you're 24. You were popping pimples, 6 years ago. Shut up.
Yeah, and you believe in a sky daddy.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think Spider-Man is real.
Yeah, that's
exactly that's the difference.
Something I put on. I actually made a comment on his. I don't. It's probably been taken down by now, but that was one of the comments that I actually put on the video. And I listed several things. I think I put. A man made from mud, woman made from rib. I put in zombies, talking snakes. I put all this stuff, and I put invisible sky wizard. What is it? I just listed all these different things.
Yeah.
I said the difference here is that atheists understand that we understand the difference between reality and myth.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten any kind of response on it, but and that's the thing is that they believe this insanity, and I used to be one of those insane people, but my brain kicked in at some point where I had to start questioning.
And Matt Powell's problem is, and a lot of these Christians' problem is, their parents didn't let them watch those Saturday morning cartoons. They didn't get any fantasy in their lives. They didn't get creativity in their lives. It was strictly Bible their entire lives.
Yeah, and of course now Matt Powell is slumming around with Dr. Dino.
Oh.
Yeah, I had, it was a kind of big controversy because I had like inside information that he was going down there, and everybody was like, "You're wrong. He ain't gonna do it." And I'm like, "You guys, you're doubting me? Like this dude texts me and tries to have set up bowling dates. Like I kind of know."
So we're talking about Dr. Dino being Ken Hovind.
Yeah.
Is he still? Is he out of jail? Is he in jail right now?
He's not in jail.
No, he never actually went to. Like he was found guilty, but never went to jail. I don't understand how he keeps doing it.
If I could figure out, if I could get a card like that, I would be using it all the time. What? Do the crime and not go to jail? Oh, how awesome would that be? I do it with white collar stuff,
Yeah, he's basically on his 4th wife, and like the controversy, like what everybody's trying to figure out is like, did he ever actually divorce his first wife? Because his last 3 wives, he just like marries them on his compound, it's like are you really just like a polygamist that just does it a different way? Like, what's going on here?
You know you're going to hell. That's what your own Jesus tells you. I don't know what his
Sounds
personal
like a
Jesus
cult.
is telling him, but the Jesus in the Bible says, pretty restrictive reasons why do you get divorced. There's only like maybe 2 reasons, and anything else.
Just 2?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Christians don't like talking about that. They don't like the fact that Jesus actually laid out, marriage and, if you get married and divorced and then have sex with your second wife, that's adultery to Jesus, man.
It is. It is hardcore stuff. So, yeah. Which is, once again, when you see the fact that evangelicals, that conservative Christians, are all about, keeping people in the LGBTQ community from having equal rights, when it's like, really, you should be focusing in on the people getting divorces, because there are far more people going to hell because of getting a divorce and fornicating.
How many times did Jesus mention the gay? Not once. Total zero.
Well, yeah, and they always say, marriage, man and woman, gay people can't get married. Like, so you're definitely against, God having sex with Mary because, God's technically not a man, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they don't think along those lines, and it's always okay when God does it, killing babies and all that stuff.
Well, that's what is it? Divine command theory. Whatever God does is okay because he's God.
Yeah.
William Lane Craig is right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say William Lane Craig's specialty right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to take this in a dark direction.
I don't know why you would say that, Mr. Fiery Horns, but please continue.
But did God get consent from Mary?
No.
I think he.
That implies.
I get in trouble when I say God raped Mary.
There you go. Rach said it.
I think if there is going to be, I think if you talk to an apologist, a Christian apologist, long enough, they would say something along the lines of, she really wanted it, even if she didn't get consent beforehand.
Yeah, consent was complete. Or the consent was implied.
I think an angel just told her, "Hey, you're going to be honored in this fashion."
Yes,
and
she shouldn't. She shouldn't have. Her burqa shouldn't have been so tight fitting.
Well, if they're going to use the logic that he owns her, that's kind of like saying, "Well, I should be able to have sex with my dog."
I wrote a paper on this. It was part of a paper that I wrote in college, and my professor didn't like it too much, but I literally laid it out, and I laid it, the Bible verse out. Gabriel comes down, tells her that the Holy Spirit's going to come upon her, and then she kind of like passes out, and something happens, and it's like there's no consent here. Nobody ever talks about the raping of Mary, and yeah, they didn't like that paper too much.
Yeah, I could see that. I was writing papers about how the Lutheran Church helped prepare Germany for becoming Nazis, and that's what I was doing as an undergraduate.
Well, that's hilarious.
There's so much.
A lot of jokes in that paper.
Well,
go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
I was just going to point out all the coming. It's like the Holy Spirit come upon her, and Jesus is coming, and everybody's coming.
Yeah, that's
There's flinging that stuff all over the place.
Well, that's what happens when you're an incel. You can't hold it back.
And some of the atheist memes that are out there that you see, it's like, well, God created Eve out of dust or out of a rib or whatever, and it's like, he didn't have to impregnate Mary. He could have like magicked, abracadabraed Jesus a million different ways.
Yeah, I had never thought of that.
Also, what about all the times in Greek mythology where a male god comes down from heaven and bangs
Zeus,
a human? Yeah, Zeus. In particular.
Yeah, Zeus was infamous for it.
Yeah. And just it's different when our myth does it. Oh no, that was real.
Well, the Bible is not a document.
I was gonna say.
Or a series of documents that supports any conception of you having a right of human rights. Human rights are alien because we're all God's things.
Mm.
We are
Yep.
all slaves to God, one way or the other, right? And they're human,
Which is actually absolutely truth. I don't think that there's any way that you can read the Bible and read it any other way. Even when it talks about going to heaven, you're going to be going to heaven and worshiping God for eternity. That's slavery. But the moment we say these things, then they just say, "Oh, new atheist." Like, I got it the other day with my last conversation with a Christian. New atheist, everything. Like, dude, thanks for comparing me to Hitch and all, but like, let's have a conversation, right? Like, don't just dismiss it. Like, let's talk about it. Why is this wrong? They can't do that.
Yeah. Well, then because they don't have an answer. They don't have a good answer.
This new atheist?
New atheist.
Yeah, the original, like Hitch and Dawkins and all of them.
It was the movement
supposedly.
that came out after
Yeah.
9/11. To tell you the truth, it was this sudden realization that amongst atheists, but amongst certain academics like Hitch and Dawkins, that religion, which they had known for quite a while, was dangerous, and the new atheist movement really came out of 9/11. And what is a shame is that after January 6th and the theocratic insurgency here in the States, that there wasn't a similar movement coming out of that. And that's
So,
yeah.
Is someone calling you a new atheist implying that you came around that time as well?
well, it's meant to be a slur, to tell you the truth.
Mm.
It's meant to be a slur.
Well, yeah, and that's not like, it's meant to be a slur, and it's meant to dismiss anything that you say, just as hyperbolic, or you're just trying to be an asshole.
And different people use the term differently. So if a young atheist or someone who wasn't around, generationally speaking, there's a generational divide between in the movement. So if you have a more liberal, more progressive person calling you a new atheist, and that can commonly mean that you support kind of like a racist status view that or a non-feminist view that some of the new atheists really could. Yes, there is some obvious. We know about Dawkins and in terms of trans rights, and about Hitchens with his pro-invade Iraq kind of problems. And so when younger people call you, who are in the movement, who know the language, call you a new atheist, that is typically not complimentary.
Yeah.
And early on,
forgive me, I've got to run, so it's been real.
Sean, how about you go first?
Okay, early
Why is
on,
that, bro?
Hitchens was actually
Bye.
conservative.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you again, brother.
Okay. Early on, Hitchens. I remember during the whole Iraq War and all that stuff. I remember seeing Hitchens on this. This is before I was even an atheist. Before I really knew that he was part of the big atheist movement and everything like that. I remember seeing him on CNN and other shows. He was actually very conservative, very supportive of George Bush at that time, and he eventually changed. He became more and more liberal. But then again, he was. Yeah, I don't know exactly what party he was. I mean, he was from England, of course, and so conservative there is going to have a different meaning than it does here. But his viewpoints, essentially, here would definitely fit into what would be considered conservative in the United States. Right. But yeah, he eventually changed that tune. He eventually wound up becoming more and more humanist. And starting to be more accepting of other people, and realizing that the Iraq War was a huge mistake, and became less supportive of these conservative values.
Sam Harris is also considered to be one of the new atheists that kind of have not helped out in terms of I haven't listened to Sam Harris on the podcast for a while, just because there hasn't been a topic that I've been interested in, but he is definitely someone who echoes some right-wing talking points.
I used to, it's kind of the problem with the far left, because the far left will come after certain people that don't espouse their beliefs exactly the way they want them to, and kind of attack them. And I think that happened with Sam Harris, because he had Murray on a few times talking about the bell curve, trying to have a conversation and understand Murray's viewpoint. And I think Sam Harris completely went over the line. But when he was attacked the way that he was, that made him anti-left.
Well,
And
that's
so,
what the problem
yeah,
is. It's a
yeah.
Joe Rogan problem, right?
Yep.
It's the fact that if you say something against your own clique, against your own side, and they come out against you, there is a natural human
Yep.
tendency just to go to the other side. And you gotta, I mean, this is just me, right? I mean, I've gotten into trouble with people on my side. I'm like, well, that's okay. I'm just going to keep saying what I'm going to be saying.
Yep,
And
me too.
I'm willing to perform with no one in the room. I'm willing to perform with 2 people in the room. I'm willing to perform with 100 people in the room. It does not matter to me. That might be kind of like a spectrum-y kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
I think it happened to that original Mr. Atheist dude. What's his name? I can't remember his name ever.
Jimmy
No,
Smoke?
it's Adam or something like that. Chat, you guys know who I'm talking about. He was like one of the first atheists that really came out. Now he's super right wing.
You're talking about the Amazing Atheist?
No, Mr. Atheist Pants. What was his name?
Oh, David Silverman.
Yeah, David Silverman.
Yeah, David
You know,
Silverman.
yeah, I think he's always kind of been on the right, but you know, he comes out and he says things, and he gets attacked by the left, and he just becomes more and more right wing with every passing day. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, with Silverman, the what, and we know this if you've been in the community long enough, is that there were some genitalia issues.
Yeah.
And those genitalia issues were the thing that created the entire, him leaving the movement basically, and going to the right.
When there was like three girls or something like that he supposedly did something to.
Yeah. I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of this, but I will say that that is the thing that drove him, or that at least initiated him going into the right.
Yeah, and I'll say I'm like the same as you, Andy. Like, I'll say what I say, and a lot of people on the left don't like it. Last night I went into Smokey Saint stream, and they were doing their transphobia thing, and I'm trying to approach it a different way. And I'm sure that a lot of people on the left will be like, well, why is Rage just sitting there letting them say this stuff? I was choosing my points to poke at them, right? But I just had to stop caring because I am a leftist. I believe what I believe, and I'm not going to allow you to dictate how I put that out there. So if you want to attack me for the way that I say things, then go for it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop being or politically motivated just because you don't agree with the way that I say it.
Yeah.
So you're talking to Scummy Taint again, huh?
Yeah, I'm practicing patience. I'm trying to see how much can I take, really not flip out anymore, because I'm trying to get, I started letting things affect me on a personal level when you can't do that. I'm going to be just naturally offensive to these people. And I've got to be able to take their offense, and I got to be able to take it like a grain of salt. So I'm really trying to hone that skill. Who better than Smokey Saint?
the only time I like to listen to Smokey is when he and Darth are having one of their hate relationships.
Yeah, those are funny.
The two of them going at it together. Oh my god, it's just
those are funny.
Unbelievable.
I like him better now that he's attacking all the Christians and not going after atheist women. So it's a little better now. But he's still, at the same time, it's the vitriol and the slurs and.
You stole the word out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's worse than ever. They have no qualms about the F slur now. It's like they just say it nonstop randomly now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're all sick in the head. They've got mental problems.
So Christian.
Yeah, Christian love.
How does that saying go? There's no greater hate than Christian love.
Take care, Crypto Maria.
Sounds like a country song.
Yeah, Crypto. She's been on the. I don't understand what's going on with the truckers up in Canada thing. So I don't know how to respond to her. I need to find out what's going on there because I don't know anything that's going on there.
Well, I was talking to Cindy Plaza was on the show yesterday, and we were talking about critical thinking. And it's like I talk a lot, but the stuff I don't talk, if I don't feel confident at least about a topic, then I'm going to wait until I get educated about it before forming an opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, I hear the Trudeau talk, but I've heard the Trudeau talk from right wing here in America for years, so I don't trust anything they say. So I just don't know what's going on up there, honestly, to be able to comment on it.
From what I
God,
understand,
Tobin, that's a nasty image, like what Tobin wrote here.
what is Smoky segment? One throw up in the tinfoil and eat it. Yeah, that is disturbing. that is disturbing. Holly says, I grew up around Pentecostal church and the wacky numbers. Yeah.
She came in a Honda. I grew up Pentecostal too. So.
And
Never
so
could figure out the language.
Well, then about see, so there you go. There's so I will say that from what I understand is that at the very least, some of the people organizing the trucker convoy are definitely anti-vaxxers and support, replacement theory, basically, Anglo-Saxon replacement theory. And I'm like, I don't think I saw a video about it, and it's like, I don't think this gentleman understands Anglo-Saxons or the history of Anglo-Saxon Britain. But there's so much to get angry about. There's so much to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rage, what do you got going on your channel? Or your channel?
I've been, I took a hiatus because I've been working all the time. And then, I was getting off all of my medications. So now it's just like a refocus, trying to get back at doing what I do best, which is trigger theists and it just really attack the religion. I find it to be ridiculous. I started tiptoeing around things. I started hanging around with these woke kind of people, and you got to watch your words. And I'm trying to get back to the original raging atheist. That's just like, Christianity's dumb. Like, why do we even take this seriously? So that's kind of what I've been doing lately.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For me, I've just been keeping on, doing work on Only Sky, promoting stuff, doing the channel, trying to keep myself not crazy. That seems to be a full-time job.
Yeah, it's I'm enjoying YouTube again. I think now that I'm kind of changed things up. It's not so personal. I'm trying not to have it so personal and spend time away from YouTube has really been helping out.
Well, it does get you perspective on things, I imagine.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to start talking to Christians again. So I already talked to one. And I've been talking to Smokey and that crowd, going over there, just seeing what I can take. And I think that it's coming a long way. I think that the new approach is going to work. It's just going to have to take some time to really flesh it out, and I'll see how many Christians I can really upset moving forward.
Oh, wow. If that's the metric you're looking for, I think you'll be successful.
But yeah, politically, I've been, I'm starting a political channel, but it's just politics are such a mess right now because it's hard. Clearly I'm against the right, but it's really hard to be supportive of the left, at least the representative left in Washington right now. So it's been like trying to find exactly where I'm standing. Because I'm disgusted with Biden at this point, which is a pretty good reverse. It was like 4 months ago I was telling you I think that he might be the most progressive president we've ever had, and like 4 months later I'm like, oh, I'm just sick of it now.
It's I think, and this is just basic content creating 101 kind of stuff, is that I think it's easier to criticize the other side, right? I'm going to say words that everyone knows. Mm-hmm. Who's ever been on YouTube or created content on YouTube, it's always easier to talk about what the other side is doing wrong than talking about, I try not to get into personalities as much, but what are the principles that we could be doing, right? Moving forward.
Like, one of the things that I've really been thinking about a lot lately is I was so critical of Trump and that administration for their COVID response, and the stupid comments, but then the dangerous comments, like, like, let's just send our elders back to work, like sacrifice our old people. But then I think about it and I'm like, well, what has Biden done? Because that's pretty much what Biden has done. He hasn't done anything, like there's been no keeping people safe measures at all. It's back to work, and the vaccine's working, and I agree the vaccine's working, but at the same time, like, you're not doing anything. People are losing their homes, and there's no help for them.
It's important to remember that when Biden came into office, there was no plan to roll out the vaccine whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's true. But it's just we were so critical of Trump for just trying to get the economy rolling, and it's like, well, these Democrats are justifying the same thing: keep the economy rolling no matter what, even when we're having like terrible spikes, and keep schools open no matter what, even when teacher unions are like coming out like, no, we need to not be in school right now. And it's just like, if it was Trump doing that, we would be eviscerating them, but because it's us doing it, we're silent.
Well, it is yeah, dude, so much to talk about, and we're ready to close out the show. It's 56 minutes, and I'm glad to see you back.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be around again in the mornings. It's been hard for me, but because I've been working so much. But like I said, it doesn't do anything, so I don't see the point in working so much.
Yeah, well, I have to figure out exactly that work-life balance too. My girlfriend's been away down to Mexico for the last week, and I realize I just start working a lot all the time, to tell you the truth. And I'm like, that might be a problem. The bottom's falling out of the restaurant business here in Michigan, and I don't know if it's nationally, but I mean, mark my words, if things keep going the way it's going, you're not going to have many restaurants around. Yeah, well, there's been a great cult, right? There's been a great dying off of an extinction level event for restaurants here. Yeah, in the Boston area. Like I said, I've been working 60, 70 hours a week, and dude, I'm behind. So it's bad. So I know we got to close out, but you guys out there, like, this economy is crumbling, and I don't know if it's fixable at this point, but there's a lot of people out there struggling right now, and they're just not talking about it. Yep. Yeah, we can talk a lot about the economics of the next couple of years, actually, as I think the inflation rate's coming out either today or soon, and they're talking, from what I heard, it's going to be 7% plus in terms of inflation. It's going to get worse before it gets better, that's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. Godless Scummer, glad to see you. And that's, just to take it, we're gonna leave on this happy note, and that's one of the reasons why Putin is doing what Putin's doing, is because gas is so high. I saw gas, the price of a barrel of oil is at like $93, and so right now that feeds into Putin's ability to do what he's doing, because he's loaded with cash. He has a ton of cash.
Yeah, I mean, where I live right now, gas is $4.80 a gallon.
Dude, that's crazy. It's insane.
That's because I live in the Eastern Sierra, California, and it's some of the highest gas. Well, actually, probably next to New York, the highest gas prices in the country. Right.
Yeah. I know we don't have any time, but it's like, we could have pushed to electric and hybrid vehicles a long time ago. You just have to make them affordable for everybody, and they don't do that. So this has been, we've known this is going to happen for a long time. We just don't do anything about it. Yeah. All right. On that happy note, everyone. Hey, I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. Maybe I'll be here in this space. I know I'm going to be doing work on Only Sky. You can check out my work on Only Joking, which is.
Quick question, if I may. Sure. Could I shill a book for a few seconds?
You could shill a book, certainly, sir.
Okay. This is from an old friend of mine.
Oh.
Here, I'll hold here. His name is Dan Conger, and the book is called A Walk Through the Wilderness. The subtext is one man's journey from faith to fundamentalism to atheism. And the reason I'm holding up is because I haven't seen him in many, many years. Last I saw him, he just the way I discovered him again is he just recently did a thing with Aaron Ra.
Oh, really?
one of his basically an interview with Aaron Ra just recently, and went, "Holy crap, that's Dan! I can't believe it." I was the assistant youth director and worship leader in his youth group in the early '90s, and last I had talked to him, he was going off to college and he was going into ministry, and he got caught up in this crazy cult. He talks about it in the book and everything like that. So yeah, I'll hold it up again. If anyone is interested, I would say, if you can support him, it's on Amazon. A Walk Through the Wilderness by Dan Conger.
All right. That's fantastic. All right. So we're going to close out. Take care, everyone. Shamla Hamla. If nothing else. Oh, Monday. Early show because I have to do the work thing. So 7 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be in this space doing the regular show.
That's 4 a.m. my time. I won't be.
It's nutty. That's what it is. Shamla Hamla, everyone. Take care.
All right. Sluncha.